Tippy time my damies, Topcat here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on a hunter, but this time we are using Void 3.0. Not on Arc 3.0 because we have a new exotic for the hunter, the Gyrfalcons hauberk. If you don't have it already, you need to go to a lost sector, get it, it is amazeballs. It pisses all over the Omni and just makes this oh so strong, and this will be my new Nightfall build going forwards. I'm going to cover up how I've set it up to maximize its potency, and at the end of the video I'll give you a couple of good options to test out for yourself. There's a lot to cover up today, so let's go over it. The Gyrfalcons hauberk. Its armor perk, See Me, Feel Me. Your weapons gain a bonus to damage briefly after you emerge from being invisible. When you are invisible and defeat a combatant using a finisher, you and your nearby allies gain a reserve overshield and improved class ability regeneration. These reserve overshields can be deployed simply by using your class ability. So there's a lot to unpack here. The main thing you want to know is that the damage bonus is 35% and it's going to last for 6 seconds. In that 6-second window we can do an awful lot of damage. The second thing to note is that we're constantly going in and out of invisibility, so that damage bonus is always procced. So first up we're going to be using the Void aspect, Vanishing Step. Simply dodge and this is going to make us invisible. This is the easiest form of invisibility, and the whole thing of this build is we want to get invisible to get out of invisibility to get our damage perk. But it's with the stylish executioner Void aspect that this truly gets crazy. So defeating a weakened, suppressed or volatile target is going to grant us invisibility and true sight. After performing a stylish execution, your next melee attack while invisible weakens targets. So for the build I'm running, we're of course using invisibility, we're definitely using weaken, and we're also using volatile. I'll show you down the road at the end of the video how you can also use suppression, but weaken, volatile and invis is what this build is mainly focused around. This build is very easy to use. Essentially I chuck purple on it and then I'll go invisible. So I can either go invisible by chucking a melee at it, a grenade at it, making it volatile, and then invis, come out of invis, do more damage. So for my dodge I am running the Gambler's Dodge. Dodge near enemies, this will fully recharge your melee ability. The Night Stalker only has one melee, it is the Snare Bomb. Throw a smoke bomb, this attaches to surfaces, pings enemy radar, but primarily we're using this as it weakens targets on detonation. This is great because we're not only getting the bonus weapon damage, we're also getting the debuff, so these orange bars go down stupidly fast. Now when it comes to your grenade of choice, you can of course use whatever you would like, but I would recommend the Vortex grenade. This grenade creates a vortex that pulls targets inwards and continually damages those trapped inside. I find this to be the most consistent and reliable grenade, and no matter what we want to make sure that we guarantee a kill. This will be made easier by our next fragment. We are using Echo of Undermining. Your void grenades weaken targets. Now the main reason we are using this, however, is that this is a debuff to our grenades. So debuff is going to grant us that invisibility that we are looking for. That way we break it, do more damage. So we've got our melee that debuffs now, and our grenade is going to debuff as well. Now whilst I got you here folks, if you are enjoying the video, please hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing. It goes a long way towards growing the channel and so I can continue making these videos. Anyway, back to it. Grenade spamming, that's where we're at. Grenades are going to debuff melee's invisibility, and this is what the Gyrfalcons need. But as if our melee and grenades weakens weren't enough, we're also going to be adding Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to our void weapons. What is the strongest shape? It is of course the triangle, and now we have our melee, grenade and primary weapon all debuffing, so we're always invisible and always stacked up with that 35% bonus weapon damage. And that's the basis of the Gyrfalcons damage loop. But then we also have the invisibility finisher perk to worry about, getting our overshields, and it also has an additional hidden perk as well. You see here I'm getting us some finishers, and when I was getting multiple in a row I was making them weak as well. Then it also gives me the dodge, go invisible, and I proc my overshield. Not only is this great for you, it's also great for your allies, much like a Titan shield is. We're also running Echo Obscurity, that way when I do a finisher, I get granted invisibility as well. Echo of Persistence is pretty much mandatory on any Void build, let's be honest, but it's pretty much just going to improve our Void buffs, our invisibility, and our overshield in this case. We get that from the Gyrfalcons, but we're also going to get it from the Repulsor Brace perk on our Unforgiven. This is an extremely good perk. Defeating a Void debuff target grants us an overshield. So not only are our finishers giving us overshields, now our weapon kills are as well. I love this little SMG, it's great for the nitty gritty, but there is some more longer range like the Doom of Chalchis and this season's Void Pulse from Gambit as well are also great options when it comes to things like Nightballs. But I've chosen the Duality's Unforgiven because it also has Demolitionist. Now this allows me to get kills with my SMG, and it's going to give me back my grenade. My grenade's going to hit targets, weaken them, kill them, then give me volatile rounds again. So I just keep this loop up of grenade spray, grenade spray, grenade spray. Constantly go in and out invisible, just mowing down ads. I have to say the Gyrfalcons has gone beyond my hopes. Like, I've completely forgotten about Omni with this build here, because I just feel I got that added damage. I can be invisible when I need to be. I've got an overshield. Everything's getting weakened. It just feels superior in so many ways to the Omni build. I mean, you get resistance, yes, but I get overshield now as well, and a damage bonus. Really no comparison. For my special weapon of choice, I've chosen Izanagi's Burden. It's got the intrinsic trait Honed Edge. You consume the magazine into one large round for extreme DPS in one shot. We have anti-barrier sniper this season, so very good in that regards, but it also just great combination for putting out heaps of DPS all at once. As you just seen, the heavy weapon I've chosen to use is the Cataclysm. I've got bait and switch on my one with Force Time. I crafted this, of course, and so I go invisible, break the invisibility with my SMG, and then go Izanagi shot, and then fire up a couple of rounds of linear, and by that point everything else is dead. But you've got enough time in that damage window just to get that combination off to do some extreme damage right away. Of course you can select your weapons based on the encounter you're actually doing, but these are just the base weapons I have for this loadout. Again, same for your super. I'm using the Deadpool tether. Use whatever you like. I just like to trap ads and, you know, just mow them down in one big bunch. But if you want to use the quiver, that is fine as well. I just find that tends to get in the way of when you're doing crit damage in a couple of encounters, so I tend to steer clear of that unless I'm doing like a Nightball or something that I can get away with just burying my tethers in the enemy space. I'll now break down the mods that you're going to need for this base loadout, then I'll show you the other weapons and mods you might need if you want to use something different. But I am using one firepower mod on my helmet, one sniper rifle ammo finder, elemental charge, and ×2 bolstering detonation. That's going to grant me class ability. I'm going to do damage with my grenades. Another firepower mod, thermoshock plating for that resistance against solar and arc, and a concussive dampener mod. Elemental ordnance to make us those void wells. Linear scavenger, and a third firepower mod followed by a bomber mod. Now for a couple of honorable mentions, we have the Heart Shadow. This is a duality exotic, so when we do the heavy attack with the full sword energy, you're going to turn invisible, and it does exploding void detonations. This is extremely good because you actually break invisibility before the damage hits out, so you get that Gyrfalcons damage. But if you want to use this, maybe take one of the firepower mods off your helmet and swap it out for a Font of Might. That way you're going to get really good damage out of this thing, and it's just going to push it over the edge. For your second option, we have the exotic in the form of the Wave Splitter. It's got a trait, Supercharged Battery. Collecting an orb of power grants a period of maximum power. This is going to add suppression to it, so it's going to help with that invisibility damage loop that we love about this. This is an extremely fun build for mid-level content. I probably wouldn't use it in GMs just because of ammo economy, because they've got things like famine and such, but it is extremely fun. On your helmet you will need to change to elemental armaments, harmonic siphon to make orbs, and you're going to need a trace rifle ammo finder. And the best for last, we are going to be taking a look at the collective obligation. This has a perk called Void Leech. This weapon leeches void debuffs when damaging targets that are suppressed, weakened or volatile. Once these are charged, hold X to swap the firing mode to that damage type. If you want to get really crazy, you can also swap to suppressor grenade rather than your vortex grenade. That way whenever we're damaging targets, we're also weakening them and suppressing them with our grenade for that double stack. Personally though, I'm sticking with the vortex grenade because I want volatile rounds. These things are just crazy with volatile, and you forget how good Void 3.0 was until you check this thing on and just watch it all go kabloom. So yeah, vortex for me, it doesn't need to be suppressed if it's always dead. Downside though, it is a raid exotic and it took me over 50 completions to get this thing, so this is why I've given you many options to run this build on. Anyway my damies, that is the build for today. However, if you did like it, please hit that thumbs up, goes a long way. If you're new and you really liked it, please hit that sub. If you've got any questions or suggestions, feel free to chuck them in the comment section down below. Until next time, tippy tie my damies, what a tie.